Hello everybody, and today we are going to talk about modal verbs. Modal verbs. So before we begin, I would like to update you that we have regular verbs in German, we have irregular verbs in German, we have separable in German, and next type of verb we have is modal verbs, right? Modal verbs. So in German, if I talk about in German, we have only one, two, three, four, five, six verbs which are known as modal verbs. Right? First verb is können, second is müssen, third is wollen, fourth is dürfen, fifth is sollen, and sixth one is möchten. We call it mögen as well, right? So six verbs are there in German. We sometimes we because we can call it, we can name seven verbs as well, like können, müssen, wollen, dürfen, sollen, and we can also say möchten is a separate verb and mögen is a separate verb. But it is up to you whether you want to connect these two verbs together, or you can also take these two verbs as a different verbs, right? So it is up to you. Both gives us, or both gives you almost same meanings. So first let's talk about können. Können is can or could. Like whenever you get the meaning of can or could, so in German you must write können. All right. So when do we use this verb? Whenever we want to talk about some ability, some capability, which others might not perform. So only you or very few can perform. Like you are unique, you have some ability, you have some capability, or which others may not perform. So in such case, you will use the verb können, right? Talking about the next model verb, müssen. Müssen means must, has to, have to, had to. That means these all words show some compulsion. It talks about compulsion and it is mandatory to do. There is no other choice. So you cannot escape yourself. If the situation says must, has to, have to, in such case you have to use müssen verb, right? So I told you there are six, or you can take seven verbs as well. So first is können, can or could, second is müssen, must, has, have to, compulsion, right? Third verb is wollen. Wollen means want, wish, wanted. So it talks about your desire, right? This is the third model verb. So if in a sentence you need to show some desire, in such case you need to use the model verb wollen, right? And the next model verb is dürfen. Dürfen means may or might. So here it talks about permission, allow, or probability, or if there are some chances to happen something, right? It is not sure, so it might happen. So all these words are important: permission, allowance, probability. I'm sorry, I forgot to give here space. So probability or some chances of the occurrence, right? So in such case, we are going to use dürfen verb. Okay, the next model verb is sollen. Sollen is shall, should, and it talks about duty. Uh, and there is no compulsion here, right? It is only advisable. Like it is only advisable to do some task, and it is a person discretion. That means that depends on the person's mood whether the person wants to follow this or doesn't want to follow this. So it is shall or should. In German we say sollen. So you must remember all these keywords before proceeding further, right? Können, can or could, ability show karega. Then we have müssen, must, has to, have to, had to, it shows compulsion, mandation. And then we have wollen, want, wish, desire. And then we have dürfen, may, might, probability, or permission, allowance. So all these are the keywords for the for the modal verbs in German. Okay, let's proceed further. Coming to the next point which we have. So here I forgot to mention the last modal verb. It is möchten. Möchten is would like to, and it talks about desire. And mögen is also like to or like I told you in the beginning. Möchten and mögen give you almost the same meaning. Now, before we proceed further, you need to understand the difference between some modal verbs like müssen and sollen. So, do you remember what is the meaning of müssen? Müssen means, as we have done in the previous slide, müssen means must, has to, have to, and sollen means shall or should. There is no compulsion here, right? So here with this figure I can make out that Musen is greater than Zolan. So that means Musen is stronger than Zolan. So in Musen there is no escape, you have to do that work. In Zolan it is your discretion whether you want to accomplish this task or you don't want to accomplish this task. Then the next difference between is wollen and möchten. These two verbs, right? Wollen and möchten. Let's discuss these two verbs. Wollen, if you remember the meaning of wollen, it is want, wish, wanted, or it talks about your desire. And möchten, möchten is So Möchten is would like to, and Mögen also means like to. So Wollen is stronger than Möchten. For example, if you are, let's assume, if you are going, if I ask you what is the plan tonight, what are you going to do today evening, and you are very much sure that you are going to watch movie, you have already bought the tickets, and you have already planned everything, and after that for dinner also you have reserved the table. So here it is likely to happen. Yeah, that means chances are very much there that your plan, you will go according to your plan. But if you have not booked the tickets for watching the movie, or you have not reserved the table for your dinner, that means plan might change. So wollen means wish, desire. Motion also means uh, would like to, or it also shows some desire. But the only difference is that wollen is stronger desire than motion. In exam you can use anything, that depends on the sentence. We will see with the examples also. Then third, the difference between motion and Myogen. So it is not there's no such big difference between these two verbs. I would say that motion and myogen both will give you the same meaning. It is up to you which word you want to use it here, right? So before now we have discussed the meanings, and now we have also discussed the differences between modal verbs. And then let's talk about their conjugation, right? Conjugation is very very important. We do conjugate the verb when we use it, right? For example, here können. So ich kann, du kannst, er sie es kann, wir können, ihr könnt, sie können. Then müssen. Ich muss, du musst, er sie es muss, wir müssen, ihr müsst, sie müssen. Then wollen. Ich will, du willst, er sie es will, wir wollen, ihr wollt, sie wollen. Then dürfen. Ich darf, du darfst, er sie es darf, wir dürfen, ihr dürft, sie dürfen. Sollen, ich soll, du sollst, sie es soll, wir sollen, ihr sollt, sie sollen. Möchten, ich möchte, du möchtest, sie es möchte, wir möchten, ihr möchtet, sie möchten. And then we have mögen. So ich mag, du magst, sie es mag, wir mögen, ihr mögt, and sie mögen. Here I have conjugated all the modal verbs available. So before appearing in the exam, you must learn the conjugation of the modal verbs, right? So in exam, if the question says fill the modal verbs, that means you have to fill out of these seven verbs only, right? So you can easily score good marks in your exam if the question is related to modal verbs. There will no any verb, there is no any other verb which comes under the modal verb. That means answer has to be from this table only, right? And you must remember some points here, that here whatever I have written, the answer in ish. The same answer will come in ARGS form, right? See, here I have written mus, ish mus, and ARGS is also mus. Here I have written ish will, and ARGS is also will. So it is easy for you to remember the conjugation. Like you can make some notes that in modal verbs, ish, the conjugation of ish is equal to the conjugation of ARGS. Similarly, the conjugation of wir is equal to the conjugation of ZZ. And second point, what you should remember, what you should notice here, that here while conjugating a verb, uh, spelling is changing, right? It's similarly the verb is kyonan, so ko with umlauts double n en. But here while conjugating this verb, I have changed the spelling, ishkan, right? In regular verbs we end a verb with e here, but in modal verb we do not end with e. In regular and irregular verb we end we conjugate the verb with the help of t in ARGS, but here we have not added any t here. So this is the difference between regular, irregular, and modal verbs. All right. This thing I have also mentioned here, that points to be noted, that ish is equal to be ARGS and VR is equal to be ZZ. You can note it down. And second point is you have to be very very careful uh, while uh, while while you are writing the conjugated verb. Now here we have few sentences like ish, and then there is a blank, sehr gut tanzen, right? Ish blank sehr gut tanzen. So I need to fill a modal verb here. Here the question says, here the question says fill the modal verb. You have to fill the modal verb here, right? So first sentence says, ish I, ish is I, sehr gut, sehr gut tanzen, ish sehr gut tanzen. So which modal was verb is appropriate? I need to focus on two things. First, which modal verb will come here, and second, I'm sorry. First is which modal verb will come here, and second, what form shall I write here? So first says it is talking about your ability, capability. All everybody cannot, all the people in this earth cannot dance very well. So this is some capability, some ability. So I can dance very well. So it should be kyonan shall be the verb, but I also need to conjugate it. So answer must be kan. Ich kann sehr gut tanzen, right? Second says blank to Fußball spielen. You good play football. So I again need to fill some verb. So I'll go with Kyonan only because it is as it is some ability. So it should be kannst. I must write kannst do good football spielen. And why I shall write kannst? Because of do, right? And third sentence is their student blank the house of Gaba Makhan. The student the homework do, right? The student the homework do. So which modal verb? I believe two modal verbs are suitable here. The student should do the homework, or the student must do the homework. But I would go with müssen, or even sollen is not incorrect. If you write Zolan, it is correct, right? But I would advise you to write missionaire, because it is mandatory for the students to do the homework, right? And if it is the only duty of the student to do the homework, if he do his home, uh, if he performs his duty well, only then he will be called as student, right? So I would go with mission here, and the student is equal to he she it, so I would write the answer mus. Dear student, mus the house of gaba makhan. And then coming to the next sentence, it is we are Pepsi trinken. Pepsi, we are Pepsi trinken. So what does it show? It shows your desire. So I would go with three answers. One is Volan, second is Myoschen, and third is Myogan. All answers are correct. And while we also need to conjugate. So with wear, answer would be the same, but I would go with Myoschen or Volan. Uh, if it is a strong desire, you should use Volan. If you just, if you have option to drink Fanta or Limca or some other uh, drinks, then you can use motion as well. So in this sentence, both are correct. Second, last one, it says Z pay order cafe. So again, do you want to drink? Do you want to have tea or coffee, or would you like to drink tea or coffee? Again, I would say both answers are correct here. Violan, Volan, and Myoschen, both are correct, right? So it is not so difficult to understand modal verbs. You just need to keep two things in mind. One is which modal verb shall I write? Second, what shall be the form of it, which I should write here? You should always conjugate and then write down the answer. One thing you must note down here, that in modal verbs, the main verb goes at the end of the sentence, and in it comes in its infinitive form. Like here I have written Tanzan. So if I translate this sentence word to word in English, so I would write I can very good dance. But if I rearrange the sentence in English, I would say I can dance very well. So while writing a sentence in German, the second verb dance will go at the end of the sentence. And that is why Google sometimes show you incorrect translation. For example, here, can you play, can you play football, right? So in English I am saying can you play. That means the position of play is coming after do, but in German it should come at the end of the sentence, because it is a rule of modal verb that the second verb will go at the end of the sentence. So you can note down here, rule for modal verb. The rule is the second verb will go at the end of the sentence, right? So this is the rule which you must have in mind. That like for example, I give you one more example. The student must do the homework, but here in German, do I have written at the end of the sentence and in its infinitive form. Infinitive form means I have written in the full form, right? So let's do some exercise now, and if you have any doubt, please ask. Thank you.